Hello. In this video I'm going to show you how to use stat plots. I'm working with a TI-84 Plus here, but any of the TI-84s work pretty much the same way. So the first thing you need is some data in at least one of the list variables, and for what I'm going to do I'm actually going to need two lists. So you either collect data, which is what you can do with something like the GoMotion, or you can copy it from another calculator, or you can enter it yourself. I'm going to enter a very small set of data just for demonstration purposes. So the first thing you do is press Stat, and number one is Edit, and this shows the list, the contents of the list variables. At this stage, list 1, list 2, and list 3 are all empty. There are 6 list variables that you can see by using the arrow buttons to the right. I'm going to put the two lists, I'll put data into two lists, list 2 and list 3 in this case. So I'll move over to list 2 with the arrow button, the right arrow, and I'm going to enter just the numbers 1, enter, 2, enter, 3, enter, 4, and 5. So these are my X values. My Y values I can enter by first using the right arrow to move over to list 3, and I'm going to enter some numbers here. 1, 2, and press enter for after you keyed in each of these. Oh, I meant to be the second one to be 1. So I can use the up arrow and right over that 2, give me 1, and then I want 2, 3, and 5. So it isn't too important what the numbers are here, but it is important that there are the same number of numbers. The two lists have the same length, or to use the terminology for the calculator, dimension. The dimension of both L1 and L3 in this case, L2 and L3 in this case, are both 5. Okay, now that we have the data entered, we're going to go and look at a stat plot that's going to plot this data. So next thing we do is go to the stat plot menu, second y equals, and what you want to do is, just to make things uniform, I want to shut off the current stat plots. So right now plots 1 and 2 are off, but 3 is on. So I'm going to move down to, in this menu, to item number 4, plots off. Press enter. That puts plots off into the home screen, and press enter again. Okay, so that shuts off, and that'll shut off any of your plots. Now go back to the stat plot menu. Notice that now they're all off. I'm going to use stat plot number 1. Go to that menu, and I'm going to turn this one on. And by the way, if you happen to have started with all of your plots off, you didn't have to do that previous step. I'm going to use the first type, just a scatter plot. But now the X list I want to be list 2. So second L2, and then the Y list is list 3, so second L3. And I'll leave the little square mark for the mark. So now if I click on graph, what I get is, well, I get the plot there. It's right. It's there. You can see the marks. But here's something that will come up when you're doing these stat plots. The window in this case has been set to plot this sine function, or this trig function. I can't recall exactly what it is. I guess it's sine 2x. So we want to shut those plots off and actually set the windows to highlight the data. So here's how you do that. First we want to click on the function menu, y equals. I want to shut off. We have two functions here. The second one is already shut off. That the equals is not highlighted, but the first is on. We want to shut it off by moving over to the equal sign and pressing enter. Okay, so that's off. And now that these are off, I want to set the window by using zoom. So press zoom, and when you're doing a stat plot, you can use the zoom stat, which is number 9. Oops, I went past it. So option 9 is, I keep overshooting it. Well, I know I can press just 9 and get it. Okay, immediately that takes me into the plot, into the graph window. With, notice that the data that I'd entered is highlighted here, and it's showing up, filling up the whole window. And one of the things you can do is you can trace this. So click on the trace button, highlights the first point, and by using the arrows, right and left arrows, you can trace the data. That's all I'm going to do for now. There's a lot more you can do with the statistics functions to, for example, do curve fitting, but I'll stop at this point.